Need high-quality video to promote your event, business, or band? We can help.
We're Pixel Pond, a video production team based in the Pacific Northwest, providing high-quality content to clients across the U.S. and Canada.
Whether you want coverage of your live event to promote for next year, or need a camera and a camera operator for your next big project, we can accommodate projects of all sizes.
Your story is important. Visit pixelpondllc.com or send an email to info@pixelpondllc.com to get started today. We can't wait to work with you.
Parental warning. The following podcast is rated T for teen. Please podcast responsibly.
Coming up on Gamers Week podcast. Less than 2 years after his own game fully shut down, Jason Voorhees is coming to Dead by Daylight. In keeping with Dead by Daylight's naming conventions, he's called the slasher in game. He can turn invisible and reappear.
It's a weird attack.
Yep, and reappear on you. I'm going up this on you.
See, you don't need to spray it if you use poopery.
Well, because you spray that afterwards, right?
Spray it before.
Before, huh?
Mm-hmm. It creates a coating on the top of the water.
There are times when I don't have enough time.
I'm aware. Emergency situations call for emergency measures.
Yep.
Why doesn't Poopery make one of those little tablets that you put on the inside of the toilet that every time you flush it?
Yeah.
Somehow I feel like their budget isn't quite there yet.
I think there's a market for it.
I'm not going to disagree.
I wouldn't mind having something like that. Like I think long gone are the times of hanging a blue puck from the inside of your toilet and just having it wither away at every flush. The good times, right?
Are those the good times?
Those were they were the best of times. Most of times.
The tale of two shitties.
You should have broken that out last week.
On that note, welcome to Gamers Week podcast. Like the name says, we analyze the best, worst, and weirdest headlines of the past week in the video game industry. This is episode 214, and today is Wednesday, May 27th, 2026. My name is donniegretro, and I will be your host this evening, but as you can see, I am not alone. With me are my two gracious and fine co-hosts. My first co-host is a man who recently discovered that his superpowers are listening, connecting dots, and not making his bubbles pop when he farts in the bathtub. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Payne, a.k.a. retrogamebrews. Ryan, how are you doing this evening, buddy?
Good. It's about being delicate, right?
You don't want to hit it with too much force to where they all come up.
Exactly, right? So it's an art.
Yeah.
One of the things I will say is occasionally like to bring a lighter, a little pop pop.
Oh, it stinks.
Sometimes I like a little bit of a light show.
What are you eating that is keeping the bubbles together once they exit the tub water?
You don't want to know my diet, trust me.
I just thought we might offer some tips to the
listeners. I need an apprentice if somebody wants to learn how to do this correctly. Right? I don't give this stuff away for free. No.
Ryan is now taking applications to be a tub apprentice.
With the Sith, there's always two, no more, no less. And say hello to my second co-host, who is always so friendly, even to evil entities invading her bedroom. She always has a comfy chair for them to sit in. Ladies and gentlemen, Blue Williams, a.k.a. Writer's View. Blue, how are you doing this evening?
The Hat Man just likes to watch, and who am I to judge?
We all have our kicks, right?
Mm-hmm. I'd rather him sit over in the corner than be like standing over me when I wake up in the middle of the night with the sleep paralysis. So yeah, I got him his own chair. It's very nice. We have an arrangement.
So that's what he was doing the entire time, was he was just trying to get a place to be comfortable.
Probably. He's like, hey, can I have a chair?
What am I going to get my damn chair? All right, let's go ahead and jump into our reviews, reactions, and requests. Secondary Protocol says, I have to push back at 18 minutes in the last episode. Epic is on record saying they were negotiating months ago to be their day one on Project Helix. Why is there even a negotiation if it's a PC and open format? I think this will still be a closed system, but with apps making it like a store like Apple or Android, probably to prevent piracy and keep it easy as plug and play.
I'm going to push back to where Donnie didn't read the sponsorship read before jumping into reviews.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Want to start your own podcast? Maybe a gentle, soothing ASMR collection of billionaires getting pelted with paintballs over and over again? You'll need a place to host your show. Buzzsprout has a user-friendly interface, great analytics, and resources to help you grow your audience. Just use the link in the description to get a $20 credit when you sign up for a paid plan. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our reviews, reactions, and requests.
So to address...
We'll just pretend everything went smoothly.
Right.
Okay.
I did not know that Epic was actually in negotiations. So that's actually news to me. So this is why I like this stuff. I like the reviews, reactions, and requests because it sometimes we can't know everything when it comes to a news story. So the fact that I did not know that actually kind of makes sense, though, if you think about it. I still don't know if it's necessarily a good fit for exclusives. At the end of the day, they've made so much money hand over fist with selling stuff to PlayStation for them to use it. And to be honest with you, they still got to pay back that whole Activision Blizzard thing. So
69 billion.
I just don't know if it's a good fit for it.
Next up, Xbox Brand 101 says, if the Xbox gamers want exclusives to come back, they have to show their commitment and buy an Xbox. I have 2 in my home, and when Helix comes to the table, I will have 3. But Xbox gamers must show their willingness to buy the hardware. Xbox is not into charity cases.
That's an interesting perspective, and it is correct. Xbox is not into charity cases. This was such an interesting conversation online because, as I do every week, I went on the socials and I asked some relevant question to whatever was the topic of the week for our episode. And this week I asked, do you think Xbox should bring back exclusives? And holy shit.
I think this is the most answers we've ever gotten to a question like that.
Yeah, the fanboys came out of the woodwork and the bickering was legendary and went on for hours. Their trigger level is dialed up to 11 and therefore we have to scream at each other even though we are all adults, like with jobs, and we vote and we drive cars and we do these things, but like...
Fanboy's still going to fanboy.
Yeah, for these corporations that let's all take a moment to remember, don't give a f*** about you.
And it's a choice that you made.
Right.
This wasn't like brought upon you. This wasn't like an allegiance. You weren't born in the Xbox nation. Like,
and it's the choice of a new generation.
There we go.
Right.
It's really sad.
Right. Like Simon says, pay me $400 and you might get an exclusive game someday. Maybe.
As long as they keep dangling that proverbial carrot, then yeah, you can stay loyal. And last but not least, Dragoon Arc says, I can't see Xbox bringing back exclusives. They went multi-platform with day one launches on PC because they needed to. But if they want Helix to have any chances at success, they should. That also would include cutting off Steam and other third-party storefronts. Also to Donnie and Ryan, remember, if you come for the queen, you best not miss.
Bend the knee, boys.
And I don't remember the last time I lost a blue in trivia.
Oh.
I don't remember the last time I tailored a trivia specifically to her for her to win. So.
Oh, okay. Accusations. I see.
And on that note, we're going to jump into our Patron shout-outs.
Well, we couldn't do what we do without the help of our gorgeous patrons. Here's the generous folks supporting Gamers Week on Patreon. You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. Fruitcakes, I hate it when my shorts gets twisted pickled pepper. Ducks with thick thighs, absolutely the best podcast, a work in progress. Funyuns, a Spotify comment daddy. Bobson Dugnut, Blues Little Sis, Perler Daily, Retro Gaming Dev, Retro Blast Pat, PNT Zilla the Mad Milkman, Seven Castle Forest, Crunchy Kong, Artie, the strongest man in the world. Frankie Grande, or Frank Grande. Love Retro BDW, Steven Sand, Ramboski, Terry Kinnair, Don't Make Me Pull This Car Over. The best part of waking up is games with coffee. Hybrid Divide, You Fall Before Me, Let's Play Princess, LaShorty, the Pixelpon family, including Shannon and Luke, and the Ski Ball Daddy, Zach, a.k.a. Old Cluster Nuts, who recently admitted to me that he is just one nut now. Puzzle Butter.
Old Cluster Nut?
It's not even a cluster. You can't even call it a cluster.
Right. Number 1, Blue Simp Pimp. Simp. Damn it, I f***ed it up already.
You can do this.
Number 1, Blue Simp Gimp Pimp with a pet wimp chimp eating a crimp limp shrimp while riding a pimp dimp blimp.
We'll give it to you.
John Barron, Sassy Sony, Evo Lust, Cyrum, The Adventures of Chibi RGB. Follow Chibi RGB as he enjoys a PB&J after his BBL recovery in NYC. Now available at every Books A Million.
What the hell?
Mega Retro Man, Gamatroid, Mora D, Michael. It's my stomach. I haven't felt this awful since I saw that Ronald Reagan film. LaKite, Emo S, and Bill Tucker. If you like what you hear today, and we really hope that you do, please consider joining us on Patreon. Your support helps cover the cost of producing the show, as well as other cool stuff we'll be doing, like prizes and giveaways. You also gain access to our bi-weekly patron-only bonus cast called Gamers Week Uncut, Patrons Benefits. Visit patreon.com/gamersweek or follow the link in the show notes to learn more. And just a reminder, we're including a link to the GoFundMe for our patron, Sheriff Snacks, aka Brandon, who's currently undergoing a battle with cancer. We love him, so please consider helping and sharing. And today I am representing the Furious Snack.
Ante says, good job. Proud of you, RGB.
I had to look up what BBL was.
Brazilian butt lift.
Yes. You got some junk in the trunk?
I like how Ryan just knows that.
Doesn't everybody?
Don't look up my search history.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Look at a lot of the after pictures.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into this week's headlines.
This headline segment is proudly sponsored by Absolutely the Best Podcast, a work in progress. Each episode, George and Zach discuss and rank all the best things, and right now, they're ranking every movie in the Alien vs. Predator connected universe. This week, they've got a trivia question for us. What 1977 arcade sports game was the first to use a trackball for controlling the player? Visit them at absolutelythebest.net or follow the link in the show notes.
So my first thought with this was like a racing game, but then I thought to myself, like, that wouldn't make sense. Like, usually with a racing game, it would be back and forth.
Yeah.
With that.
So you'd only need the joystick.
Yeah, you wouldn't need it in the other directions. And 77 is super early for arcade games.
You got to think of the arcade games that are out right then. They're probably, Missile Command, Centipede.
I don't think Centipede was 77. I think it was later. But Centipede did use a trackball, so that was another thought.
I don't remember Atari having a sports arcade game that would have even looked remotely good.
Yeah, I got nothing. This one is, I mean, I could just name a sport, right? Yeah. And maybe that's right. So I'm going to go with football, like American football, not the wimpy European version.
I'll go with hockey.
There we go.
What if I told you guys it was a Sega game?
Sega game.
That doesn't help.
Yeah, it doesn't help. Not even, but nope.
Okay, same guesses?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the answer is World Cup.
Oh, so a soccer game. So it was not the.
So I should have gone with the wimpy European. Damn it.
That's what you get.
Puzzle Better said you should have been vague and had your bets.
That's what I did when I was guessing. I was like, well, it's probably golf or hockey or soccer.
A ball sport.
Right.
All right. In this week's headlines, Destiny 2's active development is officially coming to a close, and the news just gets worse as it's reported that Destiny 3 isn't in development and layoffs are planned at Bungie after the game's final update next month. That's according to a Bloomberg report via individuals allegedly familiar with Bungie's plans.
Allegedly.
It's claimed that, aside from the ongoing support for its latest FPS game Marathon, Bungie doesn't have another new project currently lined up, with no plans to immediately start production on Destiny 3, which clearly isn't already ongoing. While it's reported that the number of layoffs planned isn't known, the number is described as significant. Things haven't been looking fantastic for Bungie for a while now. Earlier this month, Sony's results for the last financial year, which ended in March, revealed that it had taken impairment losses of around $765 million against Bungie's intangible and other assets over the course of the year. Destiny was once one of the most popular games on the market, generating more than $500 million in revenue when it launched in 2014 and inspiring countless imitators, including legendary flops like Concord and Highguard. In 2017, Bungie put out a sequel, and after parting ways with publisher Activision Blizzard, the studio decided to continuously update Destiny 2 with new content and expansions rather than release further entries in the franchise. The results were mixed, but millions of players stuck with the game, which became free-to-play in 2019. In 2022, Sony purchased Bungie for $3.6 billion, and in subsequent years, the studio laid off hundreds of employees and canceled several projects, including Payback, a game set in the world of Destiny that was envisioned as the future of the franchise. In the days since the announcement, Destiny fans have taken to the Marathon Steam page to make their frustrations clear by leaving negative reviews, even as others have begun combating these reviews through a positive counter-campaign. I don't know if that does anything justice by leaving negative reviews for a game that has nothing to do with the fact that, this whole the business decision is being made.
Yeah, it's apparently Sony has taken focus away from Destiny 2 to put it onto Marathon. But I guess the question is, do you want Bungie to close entirely? Because like Satisfaction is posting in the chat, to think that Sony might dissolve Bungie sounds so unfathomable, yet probable. And if Marathon doesn't succeed either, they've got nothing else in the pipeline at all, and games that are going to take 5, 6, 7, 8 years to develop, and they're not even started on anything else. It pretty much is Marathon or nothing. So these people who are thinking that if we review bomb Marathon, maybe they'll bring back Destiny 2. No, you're just going to close the studio. That's going to be the end result of it.
Right. And man, the mighty have fallen.
Right.
And the fact that they paid, $3 million or $3 billion for this game, and then they accrued a loss of like 765. Like, I get it, why maybe they're not interested in going forward with some of the projects for it, because it sounds like this is just a money pit for the most part for them. I don't necessarily think that it's because they aren't immune to criticism about utilizing their IPs for things that make sense, right? But I think Sony could have done a lot more with Bungie. Nonetheless, it sounds to me like at the current moment, this is just not working out for them.
Yeah, it is crazy to think about back in 2014 or 2015, 2016, when this game was everything.
Right.
Every studio wanted to put out a Destiny. Every gamer wanted to play it. I remember at one point there was a new expansion or something because Mr. Blue was very into this during its heyday. And he had all these friends that he would play with online. And at one point I remember it was a new, like a DLC drop or something that happened. And I hear this agonizing, like, why God, from the living room. And I go and look, and he's got it queued up to play to get into a lobby, but it's like 28,700 was his place in line. And I was like, I'm sorry, babe, I don't know if you're going to play this tonight. And that was looking on Twitter. That was everyone's experience, them not being able to keep up with the demand of the number of people who wanted to play this game. And then here we are 12 years later. People are tired of it. I text Mr. Blue. I was like, they're shutting down Destiny for good. He's like, it's time. It's past time.
Ooh, it's like the old dog that you know it has to be put down. You don't want to let it go, but you know. This has been happening, though, since World of Warcraft. I remember specifically, logging into play and having to sit in a queue, waiting to get onto some of the servers to play. It's just that's what happens. Things bloom up and they boom and everybody wants to play it and yada, yada, yada. Everybody's interested. All these companies are interested in making clones of it to get people to play their product. And then demand just kind of falls off. And it's the tried and true people that have stuck with this, that mean something to them. They keep coming back to it every single day or every single week. And then it's time to move on. It's time to go on to something different. But the fact that they don't have anything else in the pipeline, I can understand not wanting to come out with Destiny 3 because the demand for Destiny 2 is just kind of, nobody really wants to play that anymore. So why would you make another one? But at least have something. At least have a few feelers, pots on the fire and everything like that, and see what's going to work so you can put your focus into that instead of just saying, well, I mean, I don't know what we're going to do now.
It is crazy because it was only 4 years ago. In 2022, Sony bought Bungie for $3.6 billion. And you're just not planning anything with that asset? Who's running this place?
It's just like, oh, yeah, we did buy that.
That's crazy to me.
Imagine if you're the project manager for all of Bungie, right? And you're just like, you know what? It, I'm not going to. Guy probably like quiet quit back in 2023, just been kind of coasting on the salary for a while. Yeah. And then somebody went around and did an audit and went, oh,
Sanity says $1 billion per year is probably what the numbers guy said was good. And so now it's 4 years later and may as well close it.
Now, I Can See says all multiplayer games should do that. I said the same thing last week with Lego 2K Drive, and that is in response to Simon Ashtier saying maybe we could make it playable offline, locally, or peer-to-peer. I do like those ideas, and that's something that we've talked about in previous episodes about if a company doesn't want to continue to keep that intellectual property going for people to log into and play, they should make it available for others to purchase some sort of license for them to host their own server, for people to log in and play with that. But, then you get into some weird legal logistics with mods and all of that stuff, and not really wanting your child to be bastardized or perverted in the eyes that you don't think it should be. So I can see a little bit of that limitation coming into play.
Yeah, you don't want to let anybody else potentially make money with your IP.
True.
And I'm pretty sure that's what it mainly comes down to.
And I would love to see if Sony can put this up for sale, right? See if anybody else wants to pick it up.
I don't think any.
What do you mean for sale?
It's the IP. You could sell the IP, intellectual property piece to it, right? And then you can make like Destiny rhythm games and stuff.
Oh, no. Destiny mobile puzzle games where you just beat the jewels and yada, yada, yada.
Pachinko machines.
10 cents going to buy it, says Sanity.
Yeah, that's the problem is if it was profitable, they just wouldn't be closing it.
That's true.
Yep, it's true.
We can buy it.
I don't want to be No, I've never played a single game of Destiny. It's never interested me.
No, just we own the IP. We don't have to touch anything with it. We're just taking the royalties, right?
So, wait a second. We follow the Underpants Gnomes
correct
model of
right.
buy Destiny
it.
2.
Question mark.
Profit.
Profit, right.
Foolproof plan. Yeah. I think that's what Sony did originally when they bought it.
You're probably not wrong. This was, I think, one of our first episodes in our first year when they bought it. And I don't even remember what we were talking about. We were probably talking about, Destiny is not as profitable as it once was, but probably Sony will be able to manage it really well and still get some good out of it. And that turned out to be wrong.
Yep.
On the one hand, I'm sad for everybody who did love it.
Of course.
But on the other hand, it's kind of a relief, if we're being honest, because it was so many years where we were just kind of bemoaning that the entire gaming industry was so obsessed and focused on this style of game. And we legitimately wondered in this podcast and the last one whether this was all that was going to be left of gaming after a while, because it seemed like it was going to be. And then it seems that all is not as it should be, but it's correcting in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're getting away from the live service games, the pay to play every month and yada, yada, yada. And Simon Ashtier says, so all of that money people spent on skins and cosmetics and mission packs, it's all gone? Yeah, this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand, and my kids don't really understand. Spending money on skins and crap like that, and I'm like, look, at any point in any time, these game developers or these game studios can just say, well, this is not profitable anymore. We're going to go ahead and shut this down. Yeah, all of that stuff, it's not tangible. You don't own that.
Ante says, Destiny 2 is the only game my brother plays. He's so crushed.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and I feel for him. Actually, by the way, I can't see. Called out the Can Bungie get out from under Sony? Giggity. So his idea was actually before I even said that. So kudos to you. Looks like we're on the same wavelength. I can't see. Right.
Who would have thought they would have been better managed under Activision?
It's like putting the iodine stuff on a wound, you know? Like, you're right. Oh, no, not again.
Just pour the straight vodka on it. Clean it right up.
Like that.
The Skull vodka or the higher shelf, like Belvedere?
You drink the higher shelf stuff for the pain of
But you
whatever
pour the
is
lower
this-
shelf.
Yeah, and then you pour the lower shelf on it.
Okay, I like it. I like that.
Old West style of this is how we deal with a gunshot.
Frontier medicine.
Yep. Oh, except it would be moonshine.
Yeah. Next up, Riot says, congrats on your $6,000 paperweights, as the new Valorant anti-cheat update reportedly bricks the PCs of many cheaters. If you've been cheating in Valorant and your hardware remains functional, it's strongly recommended that you disable whatever tools you may be using. The latest anti-cheat update has introduced mechanisms that are reportedly bricking people's PCs, and Riot Games is not sympathetic in the least. Valorant's brand of cheat prevention, known as Vanguard, has been somewhat contentious since the FPS launched in 2020. Employing kernel-level software, it's a headache to work around for those who use dishonest tactics. Occasionally, players who aren't guilty of cheating have gotten caught in the crossfire, but that's a trade-off Riot seems content with making. The current front is particularly ruthless, as according to reports, it's ruining people's machines. VGK suddenly triggered an IOMMU restart warning in-game, they say on Twitter, after which the DMA firmware becomes completely unusable, even without the game running or after uninstalling Vanguard. Only fix is a full OS reinstall. This has caused some commotion, prompting Riot to comment on the issue. Congrats to the owners of a brand new 6K paperweight, the company's official Twitter account says. So while it's preventative, it's also bullish and could potentially harm the machines of honest players. That said, we can all enjoy a Nelson Muntz-style chuckle at the cheaters who've had their days ruined because they didn't want to pick a fair fight. This is kind of why I've stopped playing Warzone, which I will be honest, I got pulled in last weekend to play with the guys, and I played for just a little bit. It did not have this. Yeah. It did not have the same feel, but whenever I reinstalled everything, it was asking for like, okay, we need your phone number to connect with this and all this stuff. And the multi-factor authentication I get, but installing a kernel level nuclear self-destruct thing, I cannot get on board with that. I cannot get on board with a company installing something on my PC that might potentially cause a problem, even though I don't cheat or have cheat software.
I'm curious if this is in their terms of service, right?
You know it is.
Of course it is. Yeah.
And that's the craziest part about this is that nobody read this before this started happening. Because if it said, we have the ability to break your PC, I don't think anybody would have done this, right? Because $6,000, or at least it would have been something where the cheaters would have seen it and said something about it and been like, hey, man, by the way, try to turn off your aimbot until we figure out how to get around this, right? And you know what? I will say if that happened to me, though, I would be so pissed because I wouldn't be able to sue them for it. Ruining your $6,000 rig is
not
grounds.
ruined.
But you got to reinstall your own operating system, right?
All your stuff still works. You can still use the computer. Now, never mind whatever data you might have lost on there if you didn't have it backed up. Never mind if you can't work the next day because that was your work PC or whatever. But it's not actually ruining it.
It's true. I mean, for that,
it's an inconvenience.
It's a pain in the ass. But
yeah,
the level of brazen is pretty high when they tweet out congrats to the owners of a brand new $6,000 paperweight. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Blue says, if you're backing everything up on hard drives and whatnot, your SSDs, it's going to be a mild inconvenience for you because you have to do a fresh OS install, reload everything back up. That could take a while. And you're back in until they catch you cheating again. So you wash, rinse, and repeat. So is it truly a paperweight?
No,
but it's
not.
A good burn.
Ooh, it's a deep burn.
But yeah, I definitely agree with you, Donnie, in that it's somewhere in the user agreement, whatever, that they can probably just do whatever the hell they want with your PC.
Mm-hmm.
And you essentially sell your technical soul to them by saying, I just want to play Valorant. Well, you have to give us access to everything. And if something bad happens to your PC and you're not cheating, well, sorry, you can't hold us liable.
So haven't terms of services been like fought against in court? Like, okay. Yeah.
You can't just throw whatever you want in terms of service, right? Like you can't just be like, we have the right to murder you, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that South Park episode with human centipede.
But you have to get a lot of people. It's expensive and a pain in the ass.
Right. Deep pockets is going to be
Right. And for something is like, well, they wouldn't let me cheat. You're probably not going to win.
Well, the lesson here is read the damn terms of service before you click OK and agree to anything.
But doesn't this create a security issue as well? So if for example, Valorant got hacked, right? They have access to all these PCs. Couldn't a hacker group get in there?
Hackerman.
Yeah. If you have this kernel level software,
right,
and then boom, brick, you can build a mansion with these bricks.
Right. I mean, yes, you have the ability to brick them, but also wouldn't you have the ability to control what they're doing as well? In a way. Yeah. So
maybe.
Depending. I feel like that's what Activision Blizzard keeps saying they can't do. Like, yes, ActiBliz, we've installed this kernel level anti-cheat, which doesn't really work anyway, but we're going to make you install it. But we promise we don't really have access to your machine.
Trust me, bro.
We promise.
Yeah. Yep. Cross our hearts.
And by the way, could you move that plant a little bit to the left? Because like it's throwing off our whole OCD.
The feng shui ain't right, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And last up this week, less than 2 years after his own game fully shut down, Jason Voorhees is coming to Dead by Daylight. This past weekend, Behavior Interactive revealed the latest playable killer coming to asymmetrical PvP game Dead by Daylight, Jason Voorhees. If that has you wondering, how was he not in the game already? Well, you're not alone. In a press release, Horror Inc. executive VP Robbie Barsamian said Friday the 13th fans have been waiting for this collaboration since Dead by Daylight launched. That release also revealed some of Jason's abilities. In keeping with Dead by Daylight's naming conventions, he's called the Slasher in game. He can turn invisible and reappear.
It's a weird attack.
Yep, and reappear on you. I'm going up this on you. He can turn invisible and reappear at key environmental points like breakable walls and pallets, destroying them and causing any nearby survivors to give away their hiding spots with a scream. Survivors will have to contend with the tension that comes from suddenly losing track of Jason and knowing a vicious attack could be waiting just around the bend, the release states. Senior creative director Dave Richards said in the press release that Jason's DLC comes at a good time, as the game's 10th anniversary needed to be something special. We're just thrilled the stars aligned. The team that worked on the Friday the 13th game, which fully shut down at the end of 2024 after years without dedicated servers, is working on a follow-up themed around Halloween set to release later this year. It's hard to feel bitter, as long as we're being honest. Michael Myers is way cooler. If you're itching to get stabby with the slasher, you won't be waiting long. Jason was added to the game's public test build on Steam yesterday, and the DLC will fully drop on June 16th. As a former Dead by Daylight player, I can say that's one of the questions that I had initially, is that why wasn't Jason in this game? And the answer was because they were obviously creating their own game for Friday the 13th. So seeing all of these slashers, all of the 80s horror icon villains and whatnot that are in Dead by Daylight. You've got Michael Myers, you've got Chucky, you've got Freddy Krueger. I think you have the Xenobites in there as well. So there are plenty of 80s icons in there, except for Jason. And I like the fact that they are bringing him in. However, I think he looks like shit. Really? I think some of the skins that I've seen are fucking horrible. You want to do this the right way, then why aren't you able to use some of the skins that you had in the Friday the 13th game? Freddy Krueger looks like Freddy Krueger. Michael Myers looks like Michael Myers. Leatherface looks like Leatherface. Jason looks like a cheap Temu knockoff, in my opinion. I did not care for the way he looked. So some of the plays that I've seen.
Is it the Jason in space?
I was going to say the same thing.
No, because even if it was that, I would come back for a campy nostalgia. That being said, about me hating his look, I do like the fact that Jason is in Dead by Daylight, and I'm seriously contemplating coming back to the game after a long hiatus. I need something new to play.
Simon Escher says, I hope he gets the purple cyan costume from the NES
Yes,
Friday the 13th.
That would look amazing.
I mean, it does beg the opportunity. Like, think of all the skins that you could sell for him, and just
Of course.
for the 10th anniversary, and have the Jason of your dreams.
What is the Jason of your dreams?
The Jason of my dreams happens to look like Pyramid Head.
Oh, well, that's not Jason then.
Mask guy with a knife. It's the same archetype.
This feels like a Rorschach test. Like, what's the Jason of your
What do you
dreams?
see? What do you see? What do you see? Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head.
But it's funny because I never really played, but I watched people play it, and I could have sworn he was in the game before.
Nope.
But
Just the one missing.
so then, are they taking the Michael Myers character out of the game because now they're
Yes.
making a Halloween game?
Well, so they're not taking him out of the game. You can just no longer purchase that DLC.
Oh, okay.
So anybody who has purchased that before, you are grandfathered in. You can still continue to use Michael Myers and play as him, but any new players coming in, until that license expires or yada, 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 nobody can buy him.
Okay.
And Agent Nil said, I really like the Friday the 13th game. I agree. I think it was a lot of fun. The dynamic about, calling the different counselors and all that kind of stuff, and like the radio and all that crap. That was fun. It made it unique. I will say, I didn't play it that often. I played it a handful of times. For what it was worth, it was fun. But
You and everybody else.
yeah. Dead by Daylight, though, it's amazing to me how often they've been able to bring in another horror character, and it's like it revitalizes the interest in the game. So kudos to them. Are they going to do Killer Clowns from Outer Space next?
Or Critters, because they already have a small
Critters, yes.
Does it seem stupid that they're making a Halloween game when the
No.
Friday the 13th one didn't work? Why would Halloween work when Friday the 13th didn't?
Depends on how much it costs to develop it. If you can get enough people to buy it day one, stream the crap out of it because it's a Friday or a Halloween game that's going to be played on Twitch for 2 weeks before Halloween, and then everybody's going to log on to play it at the same time on Twitch. Yeah, you're going to make a lot of money. And after that, who cares?
Well, I think the problem with these types of games, you have it, with Friday the 13th, you have it with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It almost seems like it's a quick cash grab.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of story that you can continue to support this? And I think Friday the 13th, yes, there are different levels, there are different skins and stuff like that. Same thing with Michael Myers. It spans decades, not just like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which really, you had the one movie, the one great movie, and then part 2, you're like, what the hell is this crap? And then part 3, you're like, oh my God, Matthew McConaughey? What the hell's going on? And then
I didn't know there was a part 3.
there is.
I remember that, yeah.
And you revamp it, and then it's the same thing, and then you revamp it again because it's just not working. But with like Michael Myers, the story has just gone. It's been compounded on, and only recently, back in 2018, when they changed it and said, "Okay, we're going to forget everything that already happened, everything past the second movie. We're just going to go directly from the first movie, and this is the sequel."
No, you can't make me forget the reality show one with Busta Rhymes.
Right?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
You Fall Before Me says, Jason X pre-order bonus? For those who haven't been following the podcast for a really long time, this is a sore subject for Donnie. Not a big fan of Jason X, are we?
No, it's a horrible movie. Horrible.
Unlike Busta Rhymes Halloween.
No, I don't even. I hate that one too.
Yeah, it's awful.
I think I hate that one as more than H2O.
Oof. Ooh, really?
H2O, I hate it because
it's terrible.
H2O, the one with Josh Hartnett.
Yes.
Yeah,
And it's terrible because there's no continuity.
I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis is in it.
Yeah.
she is the continuity. Come on now.
That's all you need.
I'm just talking about with Michael. He's like, His eyes are working like clear as day. He's got no burns or anything, no scars or whatnot. Like that's like, come on, man. At least do up his hands. Show me some damage. And then I would have been like, okay, yeah, I can believe this. Whatever.
That was the deal breaker.
That was the deal breaker. Josh Hotnet. Put some respect on his name.
My bad, Tekin.
All right. On that note, let's move on to our top 3 new releases.
Sure. First up is Mina the Hollower, which apparently we don't know what platform it's on. Take control of Mina, a renowned Hollower, hurtled into a desperate mission to rescue a cursed island, whip foes, burrow through the ground, and explore a pixel-perfect world in Mina the Hollower, a brand new game from the developers who brought you Shovel Knight. Next up, Realm of Ink, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. Realm of Ink is the Ink-style action roguelite. While pursuing the Fox Demon, a swordsman unexpectedly finds that her life is dictated by the destiny within the world of the book. Only by breaking free can she unveil the truth of her existence and challenge the constraints of fate. And finally, 007 First Light, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Earn the number 007. First Light is a thrilling espionage action-adventure game by IO Interactive. Follow James Bond as a young, resourceful, and sometimes reckless recruit into MI6 training program and discover an origin story of the world's most famous spy. So, looking at these, Blue, what are you going for this week?
This is a great week. All of these games are getting really fantastic reviews. Mina the Hollower, 8-bit Zelda-like, looks fantastic. We've been waiting for this one for a long time. Realm of Ink, Hades Combat with Okami art style, looks fantastic. Getting great reviews. And 007 First Light, everybody is loving it so far. So I want to play all of these eventually. I'm probably going to start off with Mina because that's what we've been waiting the longest for.
Predictable.
Fuck you. And then probably Realm of Ink and then 007 First Light when it eventually goes on sale. And that's it.
Very nice. Dottie, what about you?
I will share in the sentiment of Blue in that this is a week where all of these games...
Go on.
Where all of these games I could play. Like you said, Mina the Hollower, we have talked about for a while. It's got that classic old school NES RPG feel to it. Realm of Ink, to me, when I'm looking at it, it's got that isometric Shadowrun vibe. So I don't exactly know how it's going to play, but the art style looks great. It looks amazing and interesting. So it's like a cross between Diablo and Shadowrun, which then leaves us with First Light. We've been talking about this game. We saw the playthrough. It looks amazing. For me, however, it's going to be a reversal. I am probably going to pick up 007 First Light and play that first, and then Mina the Hollower second, with Realm of Ink coming in third.
What about you, Ryan?
Realm of Ink, I got to be honest with you, I'm not a roguelite person, but this game looked good. And I don't like the voiceover. The voiceover I could do without. But outside of that, Donnie, I think you nailed it. It reminded me a lot of Diablo 2, right? It's like Brave Fencer Musashi meets Diablo 2. And I like it. I mean, it looks pretty darn good. So I am definitely very curious about it. If this was like, if it was 2 rhythm games in this for the week, I would be picking this. But just so happens 2 other games are going to trump over top of this one, which brings up Mina the Hollower. Always been a huge fan of Shovel Knight. So for one, music's going to be good, right? Visuals and gameplay are going to be super tight. And from what I've heard right now, it's actually listed as like a 10 on like IGN. I think they came out with it and listed it as a 10. So you've got my attention. I think this is also one, I'm not sure what platform I'm going to pick it up on because I have no idea what platforms it's going to be available on.
All of them. All of them, okay? Wherever you want it, that you can get it.
So at least for that, I think that there's an opportunity for me to have a little bit of fun. And from, like Shovel Knight's not a long game, so I would imagine this is probably the case as well. So it's something I don't have to put a whole lot of investment time into in order to get to what I want out of it. So Mina the Howler, I'm going to buy it. I'm putting it at that one. But 007 First Light, I think we've been talking about this, like you said, Donnie, for a while. And I said day one when the first trailer came out, I was like, I want this.
You almost pre-ordered it, if I recall correctly.
Correct. Right. So this was badass. Love 007, love James Bond stuff. So give me all the music that comes along with it. Sounds like they've gotten all the correct IPs and everything. And it just looks fun. It's a mixture of spy, first-person shooter. Like there's so much variety. There's driving in it as well, even though it may be on rails, it's still fun. And so always wanted to kind of jump in the seat of 007. And finally it looks like, it got into the technology standpoint. And the thing is too, it's novel, it's 007 when he was young. Right. So even more kind of fun to it. So 007 First Light, going to buy it, going to play it, going to be obnoxious about it.
What were they complaining about in the Discord that like an hour in and you hadn't banged anybody?
Right. Yeah, the reviews came in, right? I saw it. I was on Facebook and I saw it when somebody had posted, I've been playing 007 First Life for an hour and I haven't had sex with any gorgeous women yet. This game sucks.
So do you think that younger James Bond would be just slaying it, or he's still sort of awkward and weird and he hasn't grown into his body yet? Like as older James Bond.
If he isn't slaying it, I'm going to be very disappointed.
He didn't look that awkward in the showcase that we watched earlier.
Yeah. Second question is, have you seen the collector's edition golden gun display thing?
Okay. I thought there was a controller that comes along with it too.
No, it's just I'm just talking about the golden gun display case. It's I'm not sure exactly how big it is, but it looks like an actual gun with the bullets and everything just sitting there for display. That looks pretty tight.
Not being sure how big it is a continuous problem.
Yeah. You have to have authentication for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So we asked the patrons what they were interested in this week. 9% of votes for Realm of Ink, which seems criminally low. 38% of votes for 007 First Light. The winner, of course, with the full 50% of votes was Mina the Hollower. And then there was one person, just one, Clay, I see you, who would rather play a Tiger Electronics handheld than any of these.
I've used I'd rather poop out a cactus. I think that this is the equivalent. This is same.
It's exactly as bad.
A Tiger handheld?
Which one, though? Which would be the worst one?
Oh, that's a good question.
You should have specified.
Yeah. I think it's whatever your aunt got you instead of getting a Game Boy. That's the worst one.
Oof.
Okay, so Little Mermaid.
There you go.
I got you a Nintendo Game Boy. Really? Oh my God. What the f- is this?
Then having to put the pen in there to turn it on beep and all the light.
Yep.
Oh God.
All right, before we move on, let's take a quick break to talk about our sponsor. This segment is proudly sponsored by the Retro Game Club podcast. It's a fantastic, family-friendly retro gaming podcast. In each episode, Rob and a guest pick 2 games to play and discuss, as well as news, interviews, and other topics. This week, they're playing through Mega Man 2 and Star Wars Shadow of the Empire on the N64. Visit them at retrogameclub.net or follow the link in the show notes.
Mega Man 2 is probably one of my in top 10. It may be even top 5. Yeah. Probably one of the best games on the NES, honestly.
Star Wars Shadow of the Empire for the N64 is a complete piece of dog shit. I've never played it. It doesn't even look remotely fun. I'm sorry if I'm yucking your yum, but most of the games on the N64 look like complete shit.
I love that you just basically did my bit for me.
I mean,
Ryan has nothing left to say.
Yeah, no notes, man.
Sanity, I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. I'm not out of my element. Most of the games suck for the N64, the way they look and the way they play. That's FAX. It's facts. Okay. That's the truth.
I haven't played that game, Shadows of the Empire. I think I do own it. I think I read that book when I was 13 or something. And that's my entire experience with it.
What book?
Shadows of the Empire.
Oh, say Mega Man 2? They have a book?
They probably do.
Oh, Webhead said most of the N64 games suck because you suck at them. Facts.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, I'll let you have that one. Yeah, I don't mind taking the abuse for every once in a while. It's fine.
Simon says Mega Man 2 did have a novelization.
Really?
How about that?
I'd just love to hear the novelization of Bubble Man.
Let's see if I can get an audio book of it.
You know what I don't suck at, Frank? I don't suck at WCW versus NWO Revenge. I don't suck at WWF No Mercy. I don't suck at... That's about it. Sorry.
I'll be honest with you. When like 2 of the games in like the top 15 of a console are wrestling games, like, you know, you got a problem.
I will say this. Most of the wrestling games that I've played on the PlayStation 1 just are absolutely horrible.
Garbage.
Even
Like,
on the PlayStation 2.
No Attitude or whatever. Yeah. Attitude. Yep.
Raw is War. In WCW, whatever. But whenever these games came out in 1996, 97, they were freaking amazing because they weren't these complex moves lists. They were just moving that center toggle, like left, right, to perform a special move. It was simplicity at its finest. I love that game with my entire being. So those several games that came out that were made by THQ were just hands down phenomenal.
And Shadows of the Empire.
It sucked.
Garbage.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys mind if we take a quick break here? I got a bio break I need to take before we jump into...
To talk about our sponsors? Or we already did that?
Yeah, we already...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
It's 2 weeks in a row he's needed a bio break.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting older, so
True.
he can't hold it as much like he used to.
Probably time to go get that prostate exam.
Or a catheter.
Simon wants to know why he doesn't have a streamer bucket. There you go. We're just going to get a GWP branded streamer bucket.
Probably better than having like a big, like you cut up a what's the word I'm looking for?
I got nothing.
I want to say 2x4. It's not a 2 liter. Yeah.
Like of cola?
Of soda. Yeah. A liter of cola. 2 liter of cola. Sorry.
And you just cut off the top
Yeah.
unless, I don't know. If
Unless that hole is just the right size.
Right.
And thum. Sorry.
This is why people show up to the live stream.
Thank you all for being patient.
You're welcome.
Zach said, not going to lie, I forgot RGB left.
Oh.
Zach. That hurts.
He's just trying to get your attention. That's why he acts out in class.
Oh, so it's like, you know, the person who bullies you on the playground, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's pulling your hair.
That's what they always have told girls, so I'm sure it translates.
All right. Thank you for coming, students. Please take your seats. Welcome back to Professor Rybread's Gaming History 101. In today's lesson, ironically enough, we'll be discussing something that Zach, huge thanks, recommended. Now I don't really feel like doing this, so I'm going to cancel today's lesson because Zach is a jerk. But today's lesson, we'll be discussing one of the most important pieces of video game history that nobody thinks about until it stops working, starts drifting, and possibly gets thrown across the room after getting blue shelled. Today, we're talking about the evolution of controllers. Now, one of the things I will preface this is that this is a long history, so I'm not going to deep dive into any of these. You know, we're just going to kind of chronicle what happened throughout the history. So if you are interested in finding out anything additional behind that, one of the things is I've been looking to do some deep dives into other things, so that might be a part of the future. So keep your ears and your eyes open. All right. So if we look at it, not graphics, not sound chips, not blast processing, controllers. Strange plastic objects that turn our panic, confidence, and confusion and button mashing into actions on the screen. And because the history of video game controllers is really the history of one question: how do we make the player feel more connected to the game? And somehow the answer included knobs, paddles, joysticks, D-pads, shoulder buttons, analog sticks, motion controls, big old ugly plastic guitars, dance mats, banana-shaped things, and one controller so complicated that it looked like it came from a naval officer's exam. So
You
on
had
our
me at
story,
paddles.
There it is. I assumed I did. Our story actually begins in 1958 with Tennis for Two, right? So one of the earliest interactive electronic games. It wasn't in an arcade. It wasn't sold at Toys R Us. It was created by physicist William Higginbotham. God, I hope I got that right. For a scientific expedition, because apparently even Cold War scientists needed to blow off some steam with a little bit of virtual tennis. So the controller was beautifully simple. One knob and one button. The knob controlled the angle of your shot, and the button hit the ball. That was it. But in that tiny little oscilloscope thing, right, was the seed of every controller that followed. So this is the experimental era. Like, nobody knew what video game controllers were supposed to look like because nobody really knew what video games were supposed to be yet. So early games borrowed from whatever made sense. Knobs, switches, dials, buttons, steering wheels, anything that let a person reach into the machine and say, "No, little dot, you go over there." Then came Pong in the early 1970s. And with it came the paddle controller. It was perfect for the game. You turn the dial, your paddle moved, simple, clean, almost impossible to misunderstand. It was a kind of controller your uncle could pick up and immediately say, "Oh, I get it," right before losing 11-2 and blaming the machine. This was a lesson of the early era, and the controller and game needed to match. Pong felt good because the controller made sense. Now, I will say there was a Magnavox Odyssey before that, but probably most people experience the controller upgrade from Tennis for Two to this through Pong. So that's why we're including it. Now, then came the Atari in the arcade age, where the joystick had become king. Now, the Atari 2600 joystick is one of the most iconic controllers ever made. One stick, one red button, and you're screwed if you're a lefty. A black base, simple enough for anyone to understand, but sturdy enough to survive kids who thought pressing harder made Pac-Man run faster.
It does.
It doesn't work.
It does.
Now,
Prove me wrong.
we're going to pause from a serious academic question and ask, why is it called a joystick? The word actually predates video games and goes back to early aviation, where pilots used control sticks to maneuver aircraft. The exact origin is debated. Some say it came from pilot slang because flying brought joy. Others connect it to names associated with early aviators. Like many old terms, the truth is a little foggy. But once it entered arcade games, generations of teenagers already noticed that the joystick sounded funny. There's no evidence that video game companies used the word as a dirty joke, but in some kids in the 1982 yelled, "My joystick is broken" across the smoky arcade, guaranteed it got at least 3 other kids that laughed.
There's no evidence they didn't use it as a dirty joke either.
You know, I think if I remember too, there was an interview where Bushnell said that because you hold it where you hold it when you play. Yeah. No, you know, down. Between your lap, if you will. Right. Mm-hmm. But as far as things go, the joystick dominated early games. It was simple. Move up, left, right, press the one button, shoot, jump, whatever. But eventually games got more complex, and one button wasn't enough. This brings us to Nintendo and the D-pad revolution. When Nintendo released the Famicom in Japan and later in the NES in North America, it standardized one of the most important layouts in history. D-pad on the left, action buttons on the right. Start and select in the middle. Now, we do know that, of course, this started off with the Game & Watch. However, again, we're focusing on what most people's experience was, and this, of course, started with some of these early second-generation consoles. Now, it sounded revolutionary now, but because every controller since then has copied its homework, but at the time, this was huge. The D-pad made movement precise, platformers felt tighter, menus made sense, Super Mario Brothers feels as clean as it does, partly because the controller is simple and direct. You press right, Mario runs. You press A, Mario jumps. You panic, and you press everything. Mario still dies. Now it feels like it's your fault. So the NES layout became the blueprint. Left thumb for movement, right thumb for actions, middle buttons for menus. The basic idea still lives inside modern controllers today. Of course, Nintendo gave us the Power Glove because every civilization must eventually test the patience of their deities. The Power Glove looked incredible. It looked futuristic. It looked like something a child would wear while saying, "Mom, you don't understand. This is the future." Now, there was even a playground legend that the Power Glove was secretly too advanced for its time. Like, maybe the glove wasn't that bad. Maybe, we simply weren't ready for it. The truth is far less exciting. It was clunky, inaccurate, hard to use. But it looks so cool that none of that mattered. The Power Glove failed as a controller, but succeeded as a vibe. Then came the 16-bit era, where controllers started to gain buttons like the discovered holiday eating. The Super Nintendo controller gave players A, B, X, and Y face buttons, and plus L and R shoulder buttons. This was the major evolution. Nintendo's 4-button diamond layout gave players more actions while still keeping your thumb in one comfortable zone. Now, the ABXY setup became so influential that some versions of this still exist on modern consoles today. Sega, meanwhile, took the route for the Genesis, as the original controller used A, B, and C buttons lined up in a row. Made it a sense of like an arcade-style action games, and then Street Fighter II came along and basically took the 3-button and said, that's adorable. Fighting games need more attacks. So Sega eventually released a 6-button controller, which included X, Y, and Z added on top. Or you could still play with the 3-button and hit the select button to switch between kicks and punches. God, that was obnoxious.
Just button mash the hell out of it.
Right. So while Nintendo gave us the diamond-shaped ABXY language, Sega gave us the arcade-style ABC approach. Nintendo felt like the home console controller growing into something more versatile. Sega felt like it was bringing the arcade fight stick into your living room and daring your thumb to survive. Now, the era mattered because controllers now had to serve genres, not just systems. Platformers needed precision. Fighting games needed attacks. RPGs needed menus. The sports games needed enough buttons for your dad to say, what does this one do? Before accidentally punting on first down. So the controller has become a language, and players are learning to speak it. And then came 3D gaming, and everyone panicked. The D-pad was great for 2-dimensional movement, up, down, left, right. Nice and simple, but 3D games needed players to walk slowly, run quickly, turn gradually, aim carefully, and occasionally fall off a cliff because the camera decided to pursue a career in experimental jazz. So, the original PlayStation controller had already felt like it had taken the Super Nintendo idea and added comfortable handles. Then Sony introduces the PlayStation analog controller, and certainly after that, the DualShock. And there were modern controllers started to really take shape. 2 analog sticks, comfortable grip, shoulder buttons, face buttons, rumble built in. Now, Nintendo's answer was the N64 controller. And yes, it looked insane. The N64 controller looked like a futuristic trident designed by aliens who had to only read vague descriptions of what human hands look like. Now, this one led to one of gaming's greatest jokes. Was the N64 designed for people with 3 hands? I wish I had 3 hands.
3 hands, 3 thumbs down.
Now, the era also gave us some beautiful nonsense. The Dreamcast had a fishing controller. Resident Evil got a chainsaw controller. And Steel Battalion on Xbox had the most epic controller of over 40 buttons, foot pedals, and looked less like a game controller, more like something that required a clearance from the Pentagon. Then came the motion controller era. But the industry decided the problem in gaming was that there weren't enough swinging arms. Motion controls had existed before, but the Nintendo Wii made them mainstream. The Wii remote was simple and approachable. You can hand it to someone who has never played a game and say, just swing it like a tennis racket. And suddenly grandparents were bowling. It was revolutionary. We brought people in who didn't consider themselves gamers, parents, grandparents, families, people scared of traditional controllers. Suddenly they had a way in. And it wasn't about memorizing buttons. It was about movement. Of course, it also turned every living room into a low-level danger zone, where straps became important because apparently people could not be trusted to hold onto a remote while pretending to bowl. Now, Microsoft then gave us the Kinect, which asked, what if the controller was your whole body? Sony had PlayStation Move, which asked, what if the Wiimote went to a nightclub? Now, for a while, everyone thought motion controls were the future, and then they were part of the future, just not the whole future. This era also gave us plastic instruments like the Guitar Hero guitar and Rock Band. For a few glorious years, living rooms were filled with fake guitars, fake drums, real arguments about who had to sing. Suburban dads were eventually briefly believed that they were Eddie Van Halen, despite missing 37 notes in a row on medium difficulty. And now we arrive at modern refinement era. Modern controllers are less about total reinvention and more about polish. For example, the PlayStation 5 DualSense has advanced haptics, active triggers. Xbox controllers have become more clean and examples of comfort and reliability. And the Xbox Elite controller lets players customize sticks, triggers, paddles, and buttons. Now, the Switch Joy-Con can detach, motion track, vibrate, and if we're honest, it probably drift into another dimension and send it off them for a warranty claim. But maybe the biggest modern innovation is the accessibility. Now, for decades, controllers were designed around the assumption that players had 2 hands, 10 fingers, standard grip, standard reaction time. Modern accessibility controllers like Microsoft's Adaptive Controller change the conversation. Now, the question is not just how do we make players control the game, it's how do we make sure that people can play. And that might be the most important shift, I think, in controller history. At its best, a controller disappears. You stop thinking about the plastic in your hand, you start thinking about the world on the screen. You and Mario jumping over a pit. You and Link swinging a sword. You and Master Chief aiming at aliens. Your grandma humiliating the family in Wii Bowling and talking trash over pie. The history of controllers is a history of connection, from tennis to 2-knob, to Pong's paddle, to Atari's joystick, to Nintendo's D-pad, to the A, B, X, Y, ABC gauntlet, to shoulder buttons, to sticks, rumble controls, motion controls, haptics, and finally, accessibility devices. Every era had the same question. How do we make the game feel better if the player's hands? So sometimes the answer was genius. Sometimes the answer was the Power Glove.
Puzzle says, stop thinking about the plastic in your hands. You're not making it easy, Anna. Everyone's trying so hard to behave.
And you know what? That was today's desire, is to throw in as many innuendos as I could and see how long you guys could last.
Phrasing again?
Indeed. So thank you guys for taking the time to come to another, of course, Gaming History 101. And if you do have suggestions for future ones, like Zach did for today, so thank you, Zach, feel free to email us at gamersweekpodcast@gmail.com, and we might just feature your suggestion.
All right. Thank you, Professor. And on that note, let's go ahead and wrap up this episode. Thank you for listening to episode 214 of Gamers Week Podcast. And a big thank you to the Retro Game Club Podcast, Love Retro BTW, Pixel Bond Production Company, and absolutely the best podcast, A Work in Progress, for sponsoring this episode. Don't forget to check out their links in the show notes. If you want to connect with Gamers Week, follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at Gamers Week PC. Watch us right here on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gamers Week Podcast, where we will record live every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Email us at gamersweekpodcast@gmail.com. Visit our merch store at gamers-week-podcast.creator-spring.com. Or if you want to do it the easy way, follow the link in the show notes. And last but not least, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/gamersweek. And finally, since you made it all the way to the end of this episode, the princess is not in another castle. Please leave us a rating and a review to let us know how we did. We really do value your feedback. And while you're there, consider subscribing on iTunes, Spotify, or your podcast platform of choice. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with us on another Live Wednesday. We will be back in full swing next week, where we will have a playthrough.
I think we're due for an uncut.
Are we?
Yeah, we
okay. All right. Then we will be back with a uncut for the patrons. So if you want to get more, consider joining the discard and becoming a patron. And
Wait, Irish, join the discard.
The discard for the patrons.
Oh, Nimnagata. Davey would be so proud. But yes, consider joining the Discord, becoming a patron, and you will get access to our bi-weekly patrons-only bonus cast called Gamers Week Uncut, Patrons with Benefits. So we will be back on Monday, and then we will see you guys back here next Wednesday, same bat time, same bat channel on Twitch,
Or
live.
Summer Game Fest starting. Or the not E3,
State of Play.
Summer State of June. The
Yes,
June
yes.
stuff is starting.
Yes.
Words
yes.
that have to do with gaming.
Right.
Yes.
All the things starting in June.
I think we should spend like an entire weekend going through all the classics that you haven't seen.
Okay.
Like Taboo, Debbie Does Dallas.
Sure, I mean, if you want to go there. I think that the collective of humanity believes that these movies are important.
The collective of humanity believes that Debbie Does Dallas is important.
I'm part of the collective humanity.
Yep, there we go. Debbie Does Dallas and War Games.
Would you like to play out?
My education will be well-rounded.
Welcome to Gamers Week Uncut.
Welcome to Gamers Week Uncut.
Welcome to Gamers Week Uncut, Patrons with Benefits. This is the unscripted, patron-only bonus cast with less editing and more dirty jokes. We don't know where the conversation will go, but we're sure it will be weird.
This fish just went right on my nipple, and I'm just like,
I Google Street Fighter 6. The first search result that comes up is people think they can see Ryu's dick in the Street Fighter 6 reveal.
Listen up here, kids. You're not going to want to get one of those VD-STDs things, right? Make you fall off. When you go, grab a pro. You'll be doing it for America.
That was perfect.
If you want to hear weekly episodes of our patron-only bonus cast, join us at patreon.com/gamersweek.